Inflation is defined as the change in prices over a period of time. Now, CBK released the inflation rate for the month of September, and the inflation is at 3.6%. That's an increase from last month, which was at about 4%. Why is inflation necessary? Inflation is necessary for you because it directly affects your money. It affects your purchasing power. If you have 1 million now, whatever you'll buy with that 1 million is not what you'll be able to buy using that 1 million 10 years later. Let me paraphrase. Whatever 100,000 or whatever 100 shillings could buy you 10 years back, you cannot get with that 100 shillings now. Why? Because there has been inflation. Prices have increased. Over 10 years back, 100 shillings could get you fuel, a liter of fuel in your car. Now you can't get fuel with 100 shillings. Over 10 years back, 100 shillings could get you 2 loaves of bread. Now you can't get 2 loaves of bread with 100 shillings. So there has been inflation. And that's exactly also what happens to your wealth. Though not all wealth, but that's exactly what happens to your money. So it is critical. It's important to understand what inflation is and how to protect your wealth from inflation. My name is Berlin. Please press the subscribe button. I talk about finances, I talk about bonds, I talk about money market funds, I talk about circles, and a wealth of other things about finances and financial literacy. Now, in this video, we are talking about inflation. I have already defined what inflation is for you. It's the change in, rise, increase or decrease in commodity prices. Yeah, we are going to be talking about how to protect your wealth from inflation. So please press the subscribe button because you don't want to be missing out on such videos. At the same time, make sure you watch this video to the end so that at the end of the video, you'll be having a crispy, clear understanding on what inflation is, how to go about inflation and beat inflation with your finances. Because if you don't do so, you might end up losing value. Your money would lose value. You lose your wealth. All right? Now, we have defined inflation. So how does inflation affect your wealth? How does inflation affect your journey towards attaining financial freedom? Assuming you have 1 million or you have 50,000 shillings, yeah? And you save these in a place where it's not earning money. A few years later, once you have your investment back or once you have your money back, whatever you'll be doing with this money will not be as much as what you'll have, the gain you'll have earned from it had you spent it now. Okay? If you lend out money to your friend and you receive this money back 6 months later or 1 year later, if you lent money to your friend and then you receive this money back 1 year later, assuming you had lent your friend 300,000 shillings. Now, whatever you would have done with that 300K at the point when you're lending your friend money is not what you'll be able to achieve now. So you'll have lost value. You'll have lost value by the rise in the prices. Even if you had to buy a property, you would have lost value by the increase in the value of that specific property. Now that is inflation. Okay? So how can you protect yourself from inflation? By investing in investment vehicles or in assets that increases in value over time. Which are some of these assets? Gold. You can invest in gold. We all know that gold and precious metals increases in value over time. Property. But you have to be cautious of the location of this property. Okay? Certain properties stagnate. 10 years down the line, the increase in value is not significant. Okay? But again, property will protect you from inflation if you are to hold it for the long term. If you buy property in January and you want to sell it in December, believe you me, not unless there's a significant change within the surroundings of that property. For instance, a mall has come up, or a university is being constructed, or a road has been constructed along that line, or the government has demarcated that place for a road reserve, there might not be a significant increase in that property, increase in the value of that property. So if you want to use property to protect yourself against inflation, then you'll want to hold it over a longer duration of time. We're talking about 10 years and even more, or even maybe 5 years and above, yeah? Another way of protecting yourself against inflation is making sure that whichever place you put your money in these investment vehicles, if you're investing in MMF, if you're investing in treasury bonds, your return on investment, the interest quoted, it has to be in excess of inflation. Okay? Inflation now is at 3.6. So if you invest in it, make sure that you are earning more, at least 10%. At least 10%. So always make sure that you protect your finances, you protect your wealth from inflation. And like I've told you, inflation is an increase in commodity prices. This is the increase in prices. All right? Press the subscribe button and see you in the next video.